Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and not wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and not wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and not wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and not wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and
And we are live.
Let me just check. Yeah, we're live.
We are live. Yes, I was. That was true. We are live.
We are very much alive.
We are alive.
We are alive, and we are a live stream.
Do you know what? Both of those things are quite amazing, really, if you think about it. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Anyway, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's
excellent.
It's a roasting hot Friday evening.
It is.
Even though it's cooled down a lot outside. It's like 18 degrees outside. I don't know what that is in freedom units.
Who cares?
I know some people care.
Some people care.
Yeah, 18 degrees, and yeah, it's quite nice actually. It's but it's not 18 degrees in here. I think in here it must be something like 24, 25 degrees right now.
Yeah.
If only there was a way I could check. Actually, there is. I'm just going to have a quick look at my smart thermostat. It's currently 23.5 degrees inside my house.
Oh, fantastic! I had my aircon on, so it's actually quite nice at the moment. But I switched it off because it can be a bit noisy.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to do is be upstaged by a machine.
AI.
Yeah.
No, I go. don't spit your drink out. No, I get it. I just have my fan going in the corner. Hopefully you can't hear it too badly, if at all.
It's in the back going, yeah.
Exactly.
Great work, CJ.
All right, sit down. Shut up. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, that was ridiculous. So, anyway, not only hello to you, CJ, but also hello to those people in the chat. Hello, chat.
Hello, chat. Hello, Bex. Hello, Mama Steinhoff, and hello, Ruby Red Lily.
Well, there you go.
I can't talk. Ruby Red Lily.
Yes. Well, I'm glad we got people in the chat already, because what I was going to say for this for this episode, is it an episode? It's a stream,
live stream episode, whatever.
For tonight.
Tonight
we are going to answer your questions. It could be on any topic. It could be about us, about the show, about something else. Who knows? We're not promising to answer, but ask us the questions, and we'll have a good fist at it.
Why did you say it like that?
I felt I should.
You felt you should. Okay.
So it'd be nice to have a pretty light-hearted one. So give us your best questions. What have you got to say, or what have you got to ask? That's what I want to know.
This is, I'll be honest, this is something that I've seen happening more and more at work and in streaming communities as well, where people do the AMA, Ask Me Anything, and I kind of like it. As long, until someone asks a really ridiculous question.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of like the AMAs.
Yeah.
It's good.
What would or it could be the whole what would Jesus do? Well, it's WWTD. What would Ted do?
WWSD. That's what I go with. What would Scooby do?
What would Scooby? Scooby-Doo.
Exactly.
So yes,
What would Yabba Dabba do?
what? Yes. Oh God, what's the joke now? I've forgotten the joke.
I don't know.
Okay, so the people. Okay, hang on. People in. I've got it. People in Dubai don't watch the Flintstones,
Yeah.
but people in Abu Dhabi do.
Abu Dhabi do, yeah. As soon as you said Dubai, I knew exactly where you were going with that.
Yeah. Classic.
It is a classic. I've got a question for you, Ted, whilst we're waiting for the chat to think of some questions to ask us.
Yeah.
And it's a question that I got asked earlier on today, actually, and that is, what is one thing that you've always wanted to do, but just never done?
Emily Blunt.
Why? I should have seen that coming, but why, Ted?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I've got an answer to that. What's one thing that I've never done that I would like to do? Is that the question?
That's basically the question, yeah.
Right. Okay. I don't know.
Because for me, it's learn to fly and own an aircraft.
Well, that's a good one.
I've always wanted to, since the first time I flew when I was 12 years old in a Boeing 747 on the way to South Africa. That was my first time in an airplane going to South Africa on a school trip. That's a whole other story. But
Right.
since then, I've always wanted to learn how to fly. Flying,
Right.
It just ignited my passion for flying. I was already kind of interested anyway, thanks to shows like Thunderbirds. Even though it's complete fantasy or science fiction fantasy, whatever, those machines do not exist. But I was always fascinated by, flights and all that kind of stuff. And then I actually went in an airplane and fell in love with it completely. And it's like, I'll go, anyone could ask me, just be like, hey, we need you to fly to wherever. I'll be like, yep, I'm there, just because I get to go on an airplane.
Yeah.
I love flying. Flying is so good. But yeah, I've always wanted to learn to fly. And when I was in the organisation, as a young cadet and as a member of staff as well, it's that, you occasionally get the chance to go in an aircraft and take the controls and, do some stuff. And I just absolutely love it. And I wish I could afford to either not work and then go and learn to fly, or just earn enough money through work where I could learn to fly. I went on a training course years ago in an old job, and the guy that was teaching us about computer stuff, he was a pilot, and he basically he said $5,000 and you can go to the Czech Republic and become a pilot. You basically do, in the UK here we have like driving intensive courses. I think they still exist, where you basically spend a week learning how to drive and then go off and do your test. They basically do the equivalent of that for flying in the Czech Republic, or they did. They probably do it here too, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it was like, $5,000 and you can go and do whatever you want. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. But yeah, that's one thing I want.
That would be good. Yeah.
That's one thing I always wanted to do, and just haven't done it. I wish I could. Second on the list is go and live and work in the United States. Because, freedom.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
That's Scotland, isn't it? Freedom. Stick out my blue face.
Yes. Well, maybe that's what we all need to do. But anyway, don't get me started. Let's see if there's anything in the chat, shall we?
Mama Steinhoff's been in. So, what inspires you for the topics for the stream each week? I can field this one.
Okay.
Steinhoff, we just wing the fuck out of it. No, we don't.
Well, I think it's really usually it's just what would be an interesting question. I think that's what we look for. We look for a question such as where would you go if you went back in time, or what if you could have any hat, what would it be? And then it really goes from there, doesn't it?
So we always get the tropes though, don't we? Like, if you could have dinner with one famous person in history, who would it be and why? And...
Yeah, so we try and avoid those. But I mean, obviously, as you know, we go off in lots of different directions. Otherwise, it would be pretty boring, because we'd say, where would you go if you could go back in time? You say, well, 1963. Yeah, okay, thanks. Anyway, see you next week, guys. Wouldn't take us very far, would it?
It is difficult on a Steinhoff actually, because like Ted just said, we want to avoid the trope questions. We want to avoid that, oh, if you could go and witness any historic event, what would it? It's just like it's very cut and dry. It's the if you can have dinner with any famous person in history, it's a very short answer and it doesn't drive a lot of conversation out of it. So we do kind of think of something a bit more meaty that can drive a bit more conversation. Really.
Yeah, good bit of meat.
Yes, I do like a good bit of meat.
Good bit of meat around the conversation,
as demonstrated by my Tesco smoky bacon sarnie. Which I picked up from the store on the way. Well, literally like 15 minutes before the show started, I got back from the shop with a sandwich, a Scotch egg, and some drinks. Because I needed drinks, and I decided to buy a sandwich at the same time.
See, now I'm incredibly jealous of your Scotch egg.
Yeah.
Well, no, not of your Scotch egg, but of you because you've got a Scotch egg. Very nice.
There you go.
Do you know what? I tend to believe now that the more the fancier the Scotch egg, actually, the worse the experience.
I agree.
I quite like those the cheap ones. Is that a Walls? Is it a Walls one?
That's a Walls. That is
Standard.
I feel like Walls set a really good standard for snacks, like those savoury snacks. So their sausage rolls are really good. Their Scotch eggs are really good. The pork pies are really good. The pork pies are just not. Well, it's when you throw jelly into pork pies. Stop! I hate it. The jelly is awful.
I see. I've grown to like the jelly.
No, cannot stand it.
I'm on the jelly train now, but but the Scotch eggs, I find they're quite good because the obviously the egg's the egg, but the Scotch, the Scotch around the outside is quite quite thin. It's sort of thinner and it's even. Whereas you get these ones that are a bit more premium. You pay about 3 times as much for for your Scotch egg, but it's all lumpy and bumpy and rough and
Would you care, for Mama Steinhoff's benefit, would you care to describe what a Scotch egg is?
Okay. Well, oh crikey! I mean, the idea that nobody knows what a Scotch egg is. Right, a Scotch egg is basically a boiled egg, hard boiled. Normally, you can get soft boiled ones. So a hard-boiled egg, which is then encased in sausage meat, which is then covered in breadcrumbs and obviously cooked to perfection. And yes, it's a delicious snack, usually taken cold, like revenge. And there are some varieties out there. I saw one. I tried a bit of one last weekend. It was I think it was chorizo.
Oh yeah,
chorizo in the Scotch.
Ooh,
yes. So that was a bit different.
So I'm a big fan of chorizo.
What's the name of that service station on the way down to Cornwall? The really good one.
I don't know.
Where is it? Oh, I mean, not necessarily all the way down there. If you go into Bristol, it's pretty big. It's got a farm shop. It's on the A5.
I want to say Michaelwood. The Michaelwood or Charnock Richard?
No, near there.
Hang on.
That's going to bug me. If you know, get in the chat.
Yeah, if you know, please get in the chat. But I'm going to look at it anyway.
Okay, you look it up. Well, anyway, that service station, they do lots of interesting food. They've got a really good cafe, I'm giving the place a bit of an advert, but don't even know what it's called. But there's a farm shop, and you've got lots of variety in there. You get like nice little things like game pie and stuff like that.
One on the M5, isn't it?
Yeah. And they do these Scotch eggs. And the Scotch eggs, I mean, the Scotch is very nice, but the egg is a very orange, so very organic egg. But it's also, even though it's a cold Scotch egg, when you bite into it, it's still a kind of a runny egg.
Gloucester services. And even if you just go to the petrol station there, you don't even have to go into the main part. Nope.
Here's all the tips and tricks. Next time you're on the A5, M5 rather. You go to the petrol station and you can get one of their Scotch eggs, and they're absolutely delicious.
So, Steinhoff, if you find yourself in the UK, because I know you're from America, obviously. I say obviously.
Oh, Bex was in the chat saying Gloucester services.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Thanks,
you
Bex.
go.
Appreciate that.
Better idea of service stations than I've got.
Yeah, Gloucester, as I've heard some people across the pond say.
Yeah.
Because we England people like England. But what the hell? I can't.
England people. English.
I can't English today.
No, you can't English. Yeah.
Yes, Ush. Oh God, Jesus. Fuck.
Us is.
Yeah.
Sound it out.
Yes, us English people do like to throw lots of random letters in. And in case in point, like the word through. You know, in America they spell it THRU. It's nice and simple. You can't really get it wrong. Over here we spell it thruff. THROUGH.
Whoa. Hold the horses, right? Close the stable. Just a minute. When you say they spell it, what did you say?
THRU.
THRU.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what, like, really, properly spell it like that in anger, in general use? Because I know that McDonald's drive-through is THRU, but do they use it in everyday
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm sure we'll find out in the chat, won't we?
We shall indeed.
How do you spell through? There we go. That's my that's my question.
That's your question to the audience.
Yeah. Now, anyway, in the chat, Ruby says your spelling of words are sometimes odd. How can they be odd?
Always odd.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
Loughborough. Loughborough.
Oh yes, Lugabrugger.
Yeah, Lugabrugger. Loughborough. Loughborough.
Yeah. What was the other one?
I mean, anything with the word borough in it, like Edinburgh. I mean, Edinburgh is not even spelled borough; it's spelled Berg. It's Edinburgh.
Worcestershire is one that they have difficulty with because they've got Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Yeah, Worcestershire.
There was a great meme I saw ages ago. Like literally, it was one of those. Like a smartphone thing, like autocorrect type things, and it's like someone trying to type out the word Worcestershire, and it's like Worcestershire sauce or Rooster shoe or something. It was, but it had me laughing.
Rooster shoe.
Yeah, it was one of those when you said it out loud. It just made me howl. It was just so funny. I'm gonna have to try and find it and send it to you or something, and we'll stick a post up on YouTube later on with it.
All right. We're getting. I was going to say we're getting chapter and verse, but obviously not because we're only talking about one word.
The Yanks are attacking. That's what's going on here.
I mean, it's an attack of education. Ruby's coming back with. It is through THREW or through as in normal English through.
Yeah. Well, the first through is when you've thrown something.
Yes.
You throw it, even though I'm pretty sure that's not actually a word, through.
Yeah.
I thought it's thrown.
Through.
I have thrown it, not I threw it. I have thrown it.
Well, no, through is still a word.
Is it still a word?
He threw it.
Okay.
It was thrown.
There you go. That's what it's like. English, God.
Yeah.
What the mother? Anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like we missed a few bits in the chat as well. Hang on. So what have we got?
Possibly. What have I missed?
Do you discuss the topics prior, or does one of you choose and then surprise the other? A bit of both. Is the honest answer to that one. A bit of both.
Yeah.
So sometimes, so here we go. The peek behind the curtain here is I have an idea of what we can talk about on the show, and I will send it to Ted a couple of days in advance, knowing that it's probably not quite what we're looking for, but it's almost like planting the seed, and it kind of just gets the mind going and thinking about what we can talk about. It could just be anything like, what's your favourite kind of shoe? I mean, the answer to that is always Oxfords, not Brogues. hashtag Kingsman. But it'll just be something really ridiculous like that, and then it will just promote a bit of conversation, and we'll talk about what we then want to talk about. And sometimes Ted will come to me with, "Hey, we should just talk about this." I'm like, "Great, sold. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And that's literally it.
Well, sometimes we're coming up to the countdown, the last couple of minutes, and one of us says, "What are we going to talk about tonight?"
And Ted will then say, "Let's just do an Ask Me Anything."
Yeah, you can always tell. You can tell if we're organised or not, because if we are organised, we know what we're doing. We've got an idea about what we want to talk about. Then we'll post something about it, either on social media and or on YouTube, in the community thingy, whatever it's called. What do you call it?
Tab.
Yeah. But by and large, we don't, because we haven't really crystallized our thoughts until the very last moment.
I say to literally about 10 seconds beforehand, and we go, "This is what we're going to do," and that's it. We just roll with it. And I mean, the regular viewers amongst you will realise that, sorry, audience, because there are listeners too. The regular audience will realise that we don't always stay on topic anyway. There's a lot of tangents that happen in this show.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I've always been okay with that. That's always been my. I mean, I'm like that at work. We'll be talking about cybersecurity, and then I'll just go off on a tangent talking about, shoes or something. Shoes. I seem to have shoes on the brain.
You do have shoes on the brain at the moment.
Yeah, I do not know why.
No. Well, anyway, rooster shoes as well.
Rooster shoes.
Rooster shoes.
Rooster shoes. Yeah.
Okay. So, anyway, going back to the chat, have we missed anything? Well, look. I mean, when it comes to questions for the Tuesday show, when it comes to questions, we've already answered the question, "What's a Scotch egg?" So we're doing a great service there for our US audience.
I've also just realised that I have a pair of scissors on my desk, so I could cut open my Scotch egg to show the audience, but I'm not going to do that.
Oh, okay.
Because that's unsanitary.
Yeah, that'd be a really bad idea, actually. Yeah.
But I also don't want to eat on the show. That's not what I'm going to do.
No. Once you've opened it, then you may as well eat it.
That's it. Well,
how do you eat? Right. Okay.
It's like a Cadbury's cream egg thing. How do you eat yours?
That's exactly where I was going to go. Right. So every Easter, Cadbury's cream eggs have or Cadbury's rather, have an ad campaign, and they say, "Oh, how do you eat yours?" And it's like, "Oh, I bite it, or I lick it out, or whatever it may be." And then, sorry, did I? Anyway, so here we go. Scotch eggs. How do you eat yours? Over to you, CJ.
I just literally bite half of it, chew it, swallow, put the other half in, chew it, swallow. I'm not one of these that have to lick out the middle or get a spoon and do it.
No, I'm talking about Scotch eggs now.
Oh, Scotch eggs.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like we were talking about Cadbury cream eggs.
We can cover cream eggs. I mean, I just bite it and eat it. It's pretty straightforward, really.
Yeah. Scotch egg, on the other hand, I do tend to slice it in half, even though I never get the egg in the middle evenly split, because it always falls to one side. But anyway, I cut it in half and then just eat it like that, just bite at it, and good. What I tend to do actually when I do that is eat the egg out the middle first and then eat the Scotch part.
That's interesting. I try and do it the other way. So what I'll do is I'll eat around most of the outside, but I'll leave the egg sitting on a small bed of Scotch.
Okay.
Then what I'll do is I'll start eating the egg around until I've got mostly yolk, then a sliver of egg white, then the Scotch bit, and then that's my last bite. That's the way I like to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think I've tried that tactic before.
I got a really excited feeling when I was telling that story. It's like I really, really do like Scotch eggs. So,
I love them. I love Scotch eggs. They do not love me. Well, they love my hips. So, and the rest of me, because I'm just fat everywhere. So.
Yeah. Talking of Scotch eggs, what are your feelings on gala pie? Wait for the comments to say, what's gala pie?
Pause for effect.
Are you a fan of a gala pie?
It's been a long time since I've had gala pie. I really don't mind because it's to preempt comments, it is pork pie with an egg in the middle, and I'm okay with both of those things. It's like it's like Joey from Friends when I think it was someone was cooking something, and they ended up like putting meat and jelly and like a trifle and a meat pie together in one thing, and he was just like, potatoes good, jelly good, meat good, and he's just there eating it like that. That's literally me. It's like it all tastes good and I love it. So yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, it was like peas and mince and cream and jelly.
It was like trifle and then like a cottage pie on top of it or something, or some kind of pie. And he was
something
just
like that.
But he's just like describing all the bits, and he's like, meat good. So
and then Ross said, "It tastes like feet," or something.
It tastes like feet, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. We've got demands in the chat now. We've got people demanding that you cut open your Scotch egg.
Well, I'm not going to cut it open. I am going to try and break it open though, without making too much of a mess, because I am, of course, in the studio, not in the kitchen. So there's carpet in here. So there's a rug. So here we go. Let me just hold up the complete article. So there it is. But you can see if I break it open, it's literally falling apart anyway. So there you go. There was a boiled egg, and then this is all sausage meat, and then wrapped in breadcrumbs. So there you go. I'll have to eat that really quickly when we take a break.
Excellent.
And we're going to take a break. I'm kidding.
And the best bit was we already described it. So for our audio listeners, no further description needed.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, Steinhoff literally just go. I feel like you have to now for educational purposes. Then cut it open. Let's see it. It's just like, all right, calm down. I love Scotch eggs. I really, really do. They're so good, but I mean, they're really bad for you. I mean, the sodium and saturated fat in this stuff is probably really bad. So let's have a look. So per 130 gram egg, 256 calories, 15 grams of fat. 18 grams of carbs. Not a lot of sugar, though, which is good.
No.
0.75 grams of salt. No, 13% of your daily recommended intake. So there you go. Anyway, enough about Scotch egg.
Not really that bad. I mean, a Scotch egg's good. I mean, it is a bit of sausage meat, not lots. Yeah. And an egg, and you can't go wrong with an egg. So Mama Steinhoff says, okay, that looks amazing.
It really is amazing. And I think, actually, just going back to your thing earlier on about adding chorizo to the mix, I feel like I need to try this.
I feel like chorizo is being a bit overplayed. You know, I've got a feeling about bacon being overused in non-standard bacon things.
Not possible.
It is possible.
Nope.
I've known people to put bits of bacon into bolognese. It has no right to be there. But I think chorizo things get into fashion, don't they?
They do.
And then they're used a lot. And I think chorizo is one of those ones. So be careful with the chorizo. Not too much chorizo out there.
Bacon, I mean, I can't think of anything that doesn't go with bacon, or bacon doesn't go with. I'm okay with bacon in pretty much everything. Fish. No bacon with fish. We don't need that. No. Then again, I don't eat fish, so we're good. But yeah, I don't put bacon into a bolognese. I don't do that. But if I make a pasta bake, on the other hand, I do put bacon in there. I also put sausage in there and beef mince. It's basically a heart attack in a giant dish.
Well, okay.
But that's what I do. But now we're talking about chorizo. I really want to. Actually, I've run out of time. My grocery delivery comes tomorrow, so I was like, I can usually make changes right up until like the day before, but no, I think I'm too late now. But I was gonna say I might just add some chorizo in there as well and start cooking with chorizo. But yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Chorizo and Scotch egg, chorizo in pasta bake would be a good idea. I think chorizo in bolognese is okay. I've had that before. That's not bad. It just gives it a bit of a different flavour.
Different to bolognese, right? I want to be very clear on something. Okay, you can have lots of different pasta sauces. Okay, and you can call it. This is a pasta sauce with chorizo in. This is
Uh-huh.
a pasta sauce with some other bullshit in. Okay, but if you're going to call something bolognese, it should be bolognese, and therefore have bolognese things in it. That's my feeling on that.
Yeah. Bex has just popped in the chat saying chorizo is on a club card deal at the minute.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I
This
went
is
to
a
Tesco
public
earlier. I could have picked
service
some up there.
announcement. Well, there, yeah, absolutely.
That's my failing. But no, I don't mind chorizo in a bolognese. But a bolognese is one of those. Okay, it's the name is overused, like Hoover is overused. In the wrong context, or it's the right context, but it's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But a pasta sauce is what it actually is that you're making. It's not bolognese.
Yeah.
But when people say bolognese, they generally think a red meaty sauce to go with your pasta. That's a bolognese in general, but we know it's not correct. But I don't mind putting, I like the idea of putting chorizo with bolognese. Like I said, I've had that before. Chorizo on pizza is great, especially if you get like one of these, like, pepperoni, salami, sausage, and then someone throws chorizo on there as well. You're just like, every kind of sausage imaginable is on a pizza. I'm really happy. Not that kind of sausage.
Yeah, I can go both ways with pizza, because sometimes I think, well, I quite like pizza and just keep it simple. And then other times, I think it depends where I am. So if I go to, let's say I'm in Pizza Hut and it's the what do you call it, the buffet
lunch.
The buffet lunch at Pizza Hut, and you can eat pretty much as you like. Then it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can have whatever you like, whenever you like. But so you've got lots of different toppings. I think I've got to the point where I'd order a pizza and it had lots of different toppings. And I was like, well, I want to add olives, and I want some of this, and I want some of that. And what's it called? What's the little fish? Anchovies. And things like that.
Fuck anchovies.
Oh, I really like anchovies. They're really good. But then sometimes I just think I can't be doing with all that. I just want a base. What do you call it? Margarita. I had a margarita not long ago. Yeah.
Have I told you my garlic pizza bread trick with takeaway pizza joints? So some takeaway pizza places will do like a buy one get one free on pizza, and if you're really lucky, they'll also do garlic bases instead of tomato bases. So you basically order whatever pizza you want, your meat lovers, your Hawaiian, your whatever. And then as the free pizza, you order a margarita, but then change the base out for garlic sauce instead of, or garlic base instead of tomato. And you basically got yourself free cheesy garlic pizza bread. Fucking genius. I'm an absolute weight gain genius.
Yeah. What's your favorite pizza?
Now
I'm going to rephrase that. If you had, you've got one pizza that you can have for the rest of your life. You can't have any other variety of pizza. What pizza would you choose?
Pepperoni passion from anywhere. Generally anywhere that does a double pepperoni. I'll live with that, because if I don't want pepperoni, I can just take it off and just peel it off and just have myself a margarita.
Yeah.
But see, I don't do chicken on pizza. I don't like chicken on pizza.
That's weird, isn't it? Why would you have chicken on pizza?
It feels strange to me.
Yeah.
But I don't do mushrooms on pizza ever. I don't do mushrooms at all.
I do like mushrooms.
I don't mind. I mean, I do like a meat lover, so you'll get like the pepperoni, ham, bacon, sausage, chorizo if you're lucky, salami, some other bits on there as well. I like those kind of pizzas. But if I had to stick with one the rest of my life, it would be like a double pepperoni.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah. Sam Broadhurst has just jumped in the chat. Hi, Sam. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? There is only one right answer. No. Now, hang on.
That's the big pizza question that was.
It really is, but there are two correct answers to this. Because for some people, it's okay. For other people, it's not. For example, some people also like mushrooms on their pizza, and I've just said I fucking hate it. So I like pineapple on pizza. I really don't mind. It doesn't bother me.
The only time I wouldn't want mushrooms on a pizza is if the pizza's very, very small, in which case there's not much room.
Hey, dad jokes.
That joke.
What about you, Ted? Do you like pineapple on a pizza?
Okay,
yes or
we're
no
talking
camp?
about a Hawaiian. Yes, ham and pineapple. I wouldn't choose it though.
Okay.
If it was, hey Ted, what pizza do you want? I would never say I'll have a Hawaiian.
Occasionally, I do though.
But if it's a bit of a pizza party
Mm.
and the slices up for grabs, like go back to what I was saying about the Pizza Hut, what do you call it? Buffet.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a Pizza Hut buffet, definitely having some Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Definitely having some pineapple.
Exactly. It's like when you go to the go to a buffet and where people have made finger food and you get like cheese and pineapple on cocktail sticks. That's a thing, and I'm like, I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I love pineapple. Pineapple is just such a nice, refreshing flavour for me, anyway. But my challenge with Hawaiian pizza is a lot of pizza joints they'll put mushrooms on your Hawaiian.
Really?
Yeah, so it'll be ham, pineapple, and mushroom as a Hawaiian pizza. Other places they won't. It's ham and mushroom, and that's your Hawaiian, and that's it. But
how long ago would you have ever had a chunk of cheddar and pineapple on a stick?
Probably a few Christmases ago at my parents' house.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to say a couple of decades ago. I mean, I've not seen that for a long while.
I do love it though. It's so nice.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would definitely appreciate that.
I mean, again, I'm going to go Joey here. Pineapple, good. Cheese, good. Yeah, I'm all over that. That's great.
The little stick that you can put in the corner of your mouth later on and pretend you're a 1950s gangster.
Yep, absolutely. Or just get out a big Stetson and call yourself a cowboy with a actually it's straw, isn't it, rather than a cocktail stick?
Yeah, it's straw. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, no, there seems to be it's livened up the chat a little bit. The pineapple question, though. Ruby says, "Here it goes." Yeah, I did go on my little rant about pineapple. Samantha Broadhurst says, "CJ, I'm correct." Whee!
Oh,
Pineapple improves every pizza. I disagree with that.
probably not every pizza. I mean, you wouldn't double pepperoni.
I wouldn't put it on a double pepperoni. However,
No, you wouldn't.
I would go for a pepperoni and pineapple pizza, as Mum Steinhoff has suggested. If it was just like, imagine one of these like where they go, create your own, add any toppings you like. So one day I might just go, you know what, pepperoni, pineapple, all good, just because that's what I fancy.
Yeah.
Ruby readily says on certain pizzas, yes, but not on every type. Agree with that. I'd say
Samantha's back with don't forget cheese and pickled onion combo too.
Oh, that was a thing, wasn't it? The cheese and pickled onion on a stick. What else used to appear on a stick that? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just for me, it was the cheese and pineapple.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I would say back in my day, I make myself sound really old, but back when I was a young whippersnapper. You had the pickled onion as well. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with pickled onions. I have a love-hate relationship with pickled anything. Because it just gives it a weird flavour, a weird salty kind of. Not for me.
Yeah.
Although now I'm just a mindless eating machine, so I probably would eat a pickled onion now. But then again, do you remember now? I remember this when my nan used to have this. So she had a larder, or what most people would call a pantry.
Yep.
We called it a larder. I don't know why. Because maybe it was a car. But in there was always a jar of pickled onions. Always. Like big jar full of pickled little onions. And just blew my mind why they existed in there, because we never used them. But they lasted for years because they're pickled.
Quite some years ago now. I can't remember when it was. But I went to a place where you buy big stuff. I know it's quite popular now in places like Costco and stuff like that. But what do they call those things? Where do people go to buy things for their shops? What's it called?
Oh, like a cash and carry type thing.
Cash and carry, that's it. So went to cash and carry.
Yeah.
So I'm wandering around getting whatever I needed. And I saw this massive jar of pickled eggs. I thought, I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
Massive jar of pickled eggs. So then for quite a while, I had this massive jar of pickled eggs, and grew a fondness for pickled eggs. So there we go. That's my pickled egg story.
I never had pickled eggs. Again, the idea, I mean, I like eggs, but again, I don't go out of my way to make or buy them, or unless it's a Scotch egg. That's probably the only egg I'll actually buy willingly on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But pickled eggs are not my thing.
I feel like we're a couple of steps behind the chat here because
we really are.
Yeah, Samantha said pickled egg.
Yeah.
So there we go, pickled eggs.
She also
Bex
said
has come in and
sausages
said,
on sticks. So
oh, that's good.
the old cocktail sausage, yeah.
Yeah. Bex came in with cash and carry.
Yeah. Well, wholesale.
because
I think that's what.
mine did gone.
Yeah, I think that's what they say in the US is wholesale.
I see.
Wholesale food stuff or something. But yeah, we just call it cash and carry, like Booker's cash and carry, or what's one we used to go to? Begins with M.
Oh, I know, Matalan.
No.
I've
got Maplins in my head, but that's completely wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's Matalan.
Is it Matalan? No, Matalan's a clothing shop. It's a cheap clothing shop for people who are happy wearing clothes that are 2 years out of date. Macro, that's what I'm thinking. It's called Macros.
Oh, right, okay.
Makro, Macro. We used to have one when I lived in London with my nan. We used to go there quite regularly. It was basically the Costco of the day.
Okay.
You know, now Costco is a thing, and everyone goes to Costco. I watched a good video about Costco the other day, actually. It's like the origins of Costco, and it was basically a guy who, rented a warehouse off a family member because they had this random warehouse and wasn't using it for anything. So he went, right, I'll rent it from you and put a business in there. But then he was like, right, what business do I put in there? And there was a business called Fedco, which was, again, a wholesale place for federal government employees. And he was like, well, I'm going to do the same thing. And it was, again, selling things at basically market rate, and then you just charge a membership fee, and that's how you make your money. And he goes, well, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to call it FedMart. And then some German company took over, and it all fell over because the Germans did German things to it, and the company basically fell through. And then so he started another one called, PriceMart, whatever it is. And then someone else that he used to work with then started Costco, and then they merged the two, and then it just became known as Costco.
Okay.
There you go. That's the short version of a YouTube video that I watched just the other day. About the origins of Costco.
I was watching something quite recently. I don't think it was Costco. I think this might have been something to do with Walmart. Well, it could have been Costco. But basically, the guy in charge had basically created an offer where you can get a hot dog and a drink for like I don't know, $1 or $1.50.
That's Costco.
Costco.
Yep, that's Costco. That's probably the same video.
Yep. Never changed it.
To the point that, to make it profitable, they basically opened their own sausage making factory. Their own hot dog plant. So they didn't have to buy in, they could just make it themselves cheaper. And there's two of them in the US. One in, I want to say, Michigan? No, where's Chicago? Chicago, Illinois. And one in California, I think. Yes, there's two of them. They're both owned by Costco, and they basically make their own hot dogs, so they can still sell them at $1.50 with a drink. The video I was watching, they basically call it. He calls it psychological warfare. That you go into Costco and you feel so special because you've got this membership card with your photo on it, so it's like an ID card as well. And then you get to go in, you walk past the electronics, and and you resist buying the $4,000 or £4,000 TV, and then you feel like you've saved yourself a bunch of money by not doing that. So then you're going to go and spend money on other stuff, and then they also do the trick of moving everything around all the time, so you're always hunting for stuff. And Ruby Red Loose is coming going. She thinks she knows which video I'm referring to. It's a guy called the Fat Electrician. He does like military history videos.
Right.
But he has a second channel called the Fat Files where he does things like he talks about Costco. He also did one on Aldi, I think. Aldi or Lidl. Whichever one it was. And then Trader Joe's and all that kind of. But anyway, it was fascinating. The whole thing was fascinating. These he called it psychological warfare, where you just go in and they make you feel so special that you basically just want to spend money. And because you're paying this membership fee as well, you end up going to buy this hot dog and drink for $1.50, and to the point you're going, are you sure you haven't just given me the hot dog for free because it's so cheap? And they're like, no, we've done it this way since 1970 whatever or 1980 whatever, and it's always $1.50.
Yeah, I like the idea of having the more expensive stuff at the front, so you feel like you get a bargain after that. Or that, like you say, like you feel like you've saved the money. I was actually watching something. It was a clip from I'll come back to the guy's name because it's just escaped me for a moment. But he was talking about the way you sell Rolls Royces.
Right.
And he was basically saying, you've got a Rolls Royce and it's I don't know how much they are. I mean, like 300 grand or more or whatever it is, a ridiculous amount of money.
More than my house.
Absolutely. You can't sell those at a what do you call it, like a car show. So you go to a car show with like the most expensive thing, as you say, more expensive than most people's houses. It's not going to work. So what you do is you take that to a boat show or a helicopter buying show and things like that. Then people are wandering around looking at boats that cost millions, and then they think, oh, actually, I'm not going to get my boat today. I'm not going to get my helicopter today, or my Learjet. But actually, seeing as we've had quite an easy day on the wallet, might as well buy a Rolls Royce for her.
Yeah.
Or two.
It's also a really interesting way of setting goals for yourself, isn't it? You go to a boat show or a car show or something, and you just kind of go, I really want that. And then you start doing the maths in your head, and you just go, if I save like an absolute mad person for the next 25 years and then remortgage my house, I might actually be able to afford that Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And you always set yourself this goal of, I just want the Rolls Royce. I want the Rolls Royce. I mean, it doesn't work for me because I set myself a goal and then go, I really want that. I really want that. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, I'm over it.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, the idea of having these sort of the sort of relativity. So you see something that's you see lots of lovely things that are incredibly expensive, and then you go and see something that's actually quite nice, but a lot more affordable. You think, well, I may as well get one of those. It's only because you've seen the other stuff. And actually, it wears off pretty quickly. Something like, within the hour, it will wear off. So the next day, you wouldn't feel the same way about a Rolls Royce or, a Rolex or whatever it is. But when you're surrounded by yachts, actually buying a watch, buying a car, and other things like that just seems a lot more affordable.
Yeah, oh, it really does.
Not to me though. I mean, obviously, if you're super rich, if you're going there, you're a millionaire, then yeah, of course, you might be tempted. Somebody said Booker's. Samantha said Booker's.
Yeah, so we said.
Yes, that's a cash and carry.
Booker's
isn't it?
Cash and carry.
Yeah. I think I know what video. Oh, you've already said that one, haven't you?
Yeah, talking about fat files.
You didn't say the bit.
Sorry.
That's what confused me. So.
Sorry.
So there we go. We answered that question.
I think so. Boat shows / car shows would work for me if tacked right on the end is a little technology area. So you go in and you've got your £1 million boats, your yachts, and all this stuff, and then you go into the classic or the classy cars, your Bentleys, your Rolls, your Bugatti Veyrons, or whatever they're doing now, and then just right on the end there's a little computer section, and then I'd be like, well, I haven't just spent $1 million on a yacht, so I'm going to spend $5,000 on a new computer, or I'm just about to unload a buttload of cash on some new computer parts. That would be me.
Well,
so I'm very glad they don't do that, and I don't go to them.
Yeah, it would be the equivalent of having a what do you call it? A gift shop at the end of a museum where you buy a bit of old tats, a pencil and stuff like that with the name, I mean, I've got things like that. You got a pencil with like Chatsworth House and things, and you buy that sort of stuff.
Don't
I
actually have
suppose,
them.
I suppose compared to where you've been and what you've seen, and you go to a museum and you see, oh well, look, that's a dinosaur bigger than um, the building. So you see really big stuff. You've
Yeah.
been distracted by dinosaurs. You haven't got a dinosaur there, have you?
I do not, but what I was, the guys on the stream can't see it, but there is my shelving unit behind me. On the top shelf is a load of stuffed toys and things like that, and some of them I have collected from going places. Like years ago, I went to Harrods in London. Harrods. Just have a look around. The next girlfriend and we just went for a wander, and but at the end of it, I was like, I feel like I need to buy something to prove that I've been to Harrods. So I ended up buying a teddy bear that's dressed up as a guardsman, as a palace guard, and I was like, yeah, that's great. Oh, I'm not going to get up and get it, but it's up there. I was so proud of myself that I had this Harrods toy. But it's like anything like that. You just go, I've been to this big famous or big fancy place, that a lot of people know about, if not everybody, and you go, I feel like I need to buy something. And it's again, it's a bit of psychological warfare, isn't it? They just go, okay, you can't afford the £250 Lego set or whatever it is, but as you go out, we're just going to offer you just something that's like, 20 quid. Yeah, you'll buy that, right? And you will. You'll be like, I need to leave here having bought something, and you just end up picking up something.
Yeah. Particularly if it's something for kids, then you come to the gift shop.
Yeah.
Like you've got to buy something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
you've got to buy something, and obviously the most attractive things are the most expensive things.
I mean, that's the thing when you go to the museum, isn't it? As a kid, you just like, you want something. You want something.
Yeah.
When I went to America back in October, we went to, it was like an art museum. No, not a museum, an art place. What do you call them? An art gallery.
Gallery. Yeah.
Called Crystal Bridges. And there is a gift shop there, and we had a wander around the gift shop, and I just remember looking at all of this stuff, just going, 20 years ago, maybe a bit more, I'd have been very happy to unload $5 on a pencil sharpener.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have been so happy to do that. Now I'm just like, but I can get one for like 99p in Tesco's. I don't need a Crystal Bridges pencil sharpener. I don't need a Crystal Bridges pencil. I don't use pencils anyway, But it's that I just keep thinking to myself, there's so much crap that they're trying to peddle on you to make you spend money, to make you go, I've got this thing that proves that I went. It's like a rite of passage. I went to this place, and yes, I unloaded $40 on a book, because why not? Because I can't buy it anywhere else, and I think that's how they get you. They just go, well, you can't get it anywhere else. The only place you'll get this is here.
Yeah, I went to the RAF museum at Hendon in London. I say recently, I mean it was months ago, but in recent times, should we say? Went there, and actually, what you find is in the gift shop, there's a big variety, but it's a big variety, and I think it's to meet any budget. The idea being somebody's going to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
They have to buy something. They feel compelled to buy something because they're generally not on their own. They take families and whatnot. Everybody wants something. So to suit any budget, you can go in and you can buy things like the flying jackets, the proper leather flying jackets. You can spend like $1,000 on a jacket.
So you'll spend 500 to $1,000 on that shirt.
Yeah, you can buy watches. You can buy teddies, and you can buy key rings and little wobbly head things and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
So absolutely, that they want to rinse everybody for a few quid, or as many quid as they can get.
Yep.
And there are plenty of different ways in which they can get it.
To a point, I understand, because the gift shop is how they make their money.
Yeah.
That's how they keep these places running. Yes, sometimes there'll be an entry fee for some, to just get in, or like I say, Crystal Bridges was did we have to pay for something? I can't remember. I think there was something in there where I remember looking at it and going, well, we have to pay to get into that, and I wasn't really into it, so I didn't. But then, yeah, you get to the gift shop and you're just like, this is really how they make their money. But then you get
Yeah.
tight-fisted arseholes like me, and I'm just like, nope, not spending that. I'm not
And
going to.
food and drink as well,
Oh yeah.
because you then you've got a captive audience.
Yep.
So if you want food, it's basically what's here. You could either have a meal or you can have the overpriced sandwich. Well, and then you look at it and think, well, actually, the overpriced sandwich is so overpriced, I may as well get the meal on a plate. So you end up spending more anyway.
I think we ended up again in Crystal Bridges. We looked at the restaurant, and I mean, there was a massive queue for food and drink anyway. And we were just like, we don't want to hang around. Yeah, we don't want to wait for this. But the other thought in my head was, apart from the fact that it would be really expensive to get food and drink, and you've got to wait for it, was that so Crystal Bridges is owned by Walmart, I think.
Okay.
So I'm like, they got plenty of money. They don't need mine. They don't need my money. I'm good. I'm good not spending the money. But yeah, the food and drink is always, and it's just astronomical prices, isn't it? But again, it's how they get you, because they've made you walk around. You know, sometimes, I mean, the last museum I went to before Crystal Bridges, was probably, was it the Imperial War Museum we went to when we were in London with the organisation? We were on camp at, I want to say, where were we on camp?
No idea. I've slept since then. I'm sure.
I know. But I remember we got a bus from wherever we were into London, and we went to, I'm pretty sure it was IWM.
Right.
And I remember because they had the Holocaust exhibit there at that point as well. Yeah, it was the one with the big guns outside. I'm pretty sure that's IWM.
Okay.
And again, so they've made you walk around. You've gone floor to floor, walking around, and then you get towards the end. They're like, "Oh, there's a cafe," and you're like, "Yeah, it's going to cost you nearly a tenner for a cup of coffee." And like, I'm okay, thanks. I'll walk outside, go down the road a little bit, and I'll get a Costa.
Yeah. But if it's a bit more isolated, like the RF Museum in Hendon, like you basically you've got to get in the car, then drive somewhere else, and the only place is probably going to be a McDonald's on a roundabout somewhere, because otherwise it's just a hassle because you've got to park and go somewhere. I mean, basically, there's nothing else there you'd want to go. I mean, step out of Hendon, and it's like, well, what are you going to do? You know.
Exactly.
So yeah, whilst you're stuck in that sort of compound, as it were, you'll eat lunch there. As I say, you'll end up having a hot meal or something, and then later on you think, oh, I'm a bit thirsty. I'll sit down with an overpriced drink, and then you see the cake. Think, oh, I'll just have a slight, bit of Victoria slice.
Yep.
That'd be nice.
Yep.
There's more in the chat. Chat. What have we got?
Mama Steinhoff said, recently bought a goat's milk candle at the gift shop at the end of a museum. A goat's milk candle.
That's the strangest thing I've heard.
That is not a common thing people say.
I mean, they tend to be made of wax, in my experience.
Yeah.
Not goat's milk or any milk.
I say or any milk for that matter.
Right, we need to know more about that.
Yeah, please tell us more. And Ruby Red Lily says, I bought Heart of the Ocean earrings after going to the Titanic Museum last weekend. Okay. Where was the Titanic Museum? That is the question. Was it in Belfast or New York? Because I feel like they're the only two places where that actually matters.
Yes. And as long as it's above the surface as well. That's important.
Could you imagine? We're going to go to the Titanic Museum. Great. Just get on board this submarine.
No.
No, thanks. I'm good.
No, thanks. No. Yes, Mama Steinhoff has come back and said exactly why I had to buy it. It really doesn't answer the question. And the question really was, what the hell?
Is it made of goat's milk, or is it made of wax mixed with goat's milk?
Does it have a goat's milk aroma to it? I feel like we need to know more, or maybe less.
And it was amazing. Smelled lovely for a long time. I don't really know what goat's milk smells like. I had tried it once and didn't enjoy it a long time ago.
Yeah. And
decided I'm good not drinking milk from a goat's boob.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But from a cow's boob, that's fine.
cow boobs are a whole different story.
They are.
Yep.
Utterly
Hey,
different.
utterly different.
Yeah.
Oh, great stuff.
So anyway, this is all well and good, but we need your questions. We want to know exactly what. No, we want you to ask me. And all of a sudden, Joe Biden is starting to look. Here we go. I didn't analyze it. I felt compelled to support the museum, and that caught my eye.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll take that. Ruby readily says, wish it was there, but Branson MO. Oh, the Titanic Museum. Yeah, Branson, Missouri. I'm aware of Branson. It's mentioned a few times in the TV show Modern Family. One of the characters comes from Branson, Missouri. So there you go. Here we go. Bex has come in. Sorry, go on. You about to say something?
Is that the is it the fat bloke?
Yeah, Cameron.
Yep. So it's a bit country. It's a bit country, is it? Then
I guess so.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess so. Anyway, Bex has come in with what would be your last meal on death row?
That's a bit morbid, isn't it? Crikey.
So I've just seen Steinhoff's next question. Oh, okay. We'll come to that. We will get to that. Last meal on death row. I don't know. I've read some stories about death row and the last meals people have. Some people keep it simple and just be like, oh, I just want a cheeseburger, you know. Some people go all out and they're like, I'll have one of everything from the McDonald's menu, or one of. I think there was one where he literally had one of everything from the Burger King menu. Couldn't finish it all, but that's what he wanted. You know, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess if you just want a bite of everything, you know, go for it.
I would do some research and try and find something that is only in season, like once every 10 years. And if I time it right, buy myself some extra time. That's where I would go with that. I think that would be my first instinct.
It's not a bad idea. Could you imagine that? You're just like, I just want to punt at, middle of winter. I just want to punt at strawberries for my last meal. And they're like, they're out of season, dude. You know, we can't do that. And he's like, well, I guess we're going to have to wait till they're in season because that's what I want and that's what I'm going to get.
Yeah, the only trouble is you can ship those, can't you? I mean, when do we ever have a problem getting hold of strawberries?
I don't know. I don't really buy strawberries that often.
The problem is that the sun shines somewhere, doesn't it? All the time.
Out my arse every day.
Well, that's where the strawberries are found.
Yep. If you want ass strawberries, come to me. I'm your man.
And the thing is, if you're on death row in prison, you're probably going to end up with ass strawberries.
Oh, sorry. Paul Howson has just joined the chat. Welcome, Paul. Good to see you. Has actually just dropped in saying McDonald's rib sandwich when they're in season. So the McRib.
Right.
The McRib is one of those. I mean, we don't have it in the UK. Like, so rarely it appears in the UK. But I know it's almost like a seasonal thing in the US.
Right. I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Do you remember we used to have when I was a kid? They were called Chinese spare ribs. It's basically like processed meat in like a Chinese type sauce. It's a bit spicy and flavorful, and I used to love those. They were great. They were just called. We just called them spare ribs. I don't know what they're actually properly called, but basically the McRib is that.
Right.
It's rib meat that's basically taken off the bone, put into a bun, and there you go. You got yourself a McRib.
That sounds quite good.
They're amazing. Yeah, I think I've had them once in the UK, and I haven't seen them since. But yeah, that if you wanted to delay death row, that's the way to do it.
Right.
Absolutely order yourself a McRib.
Yeah.
They'll be like...
With a milkshake, because the machine will always be broken.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so there we go.
Steinhoff came in with how important is the hair routine prior to stream? I'm going to assume this one's aimed at you, Ted.
How? Why are you assuming that? My goodness, actually, of the two of us, before we actually, as we go into the countdown, in fact, or just before that, you were there. You were there going, "Oh, how's my hair?"
I'm 100% the one playing with my hair
Yeah.
as the countdown is happening.
To be fair, you had just gone out and got yourself some energy drinks. So I think that you said it was spotting with rain. Did you?
And it was raining.
It was raining, so I can understand the issue, the concern about your hair, because you don't want your hair, because you've got this new look. You've got this new look going on with your quiff.
Yeah, new retro vibe thing that's happening.
Yeah.
My family seems to enjoy it, so I went to my niece's birthday party last weekend, and obviously no one has seen me with this hairstyle and the new glasses at all. So obviously, it was when I've rocked up and I'm looking like this, everyone's like, "Ooh,
the Proclaimers are here."
Literally, my mum said to me after about 20 minutes, she was just looking at me like this, just giving it the old squint, and she was like, "Hey, you know what? If you shaved, you'd look like one." She said, "You'd look like one of the Proclaimers."
Yeah.
And my brother piped in immediately and went, "You do know they're identical twins, right?"
Yeah.
So you basically look like both of them. Just like, oh my god! Here we go.
Know, actually, if you walk another 500 miles, that'd be great. Thanks. I saw the Proclaimers once at a petrol station in Kettering.
Nice.
So there we go. That's my little claim. It's not even a claim to fame, is it? It's just a claim that I've saw the Proclaimers at the petrol station.
I like the Proclaimers. I mean, I've never met them.
Pretty good.
I like their music.
Yeah,
so
do I.
I don't know if I like them. I've never met them, but
I like. What is it? Letter from America or Letter to America?
Letters from America.
Yeah, that's a good song.
I'm gonna be brackets 500 miles. I'm on my way from misery to happiness today. As used in the movie Shrek. Crikey, there's so many of them. Sunshine on Leith is a great song. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here listing all Proclaimers tracks for the next half an hour.
Anyway, so do you have a particular routine when it comes to the hair then?
It takes a little while, probably longer than it should take a man to do his hair.
Right.
I'm not going to lie about that. So, I mean, do you really want to know my routine, Mama Steinhoff?
I don't. I didn't ask the question.
No, that's why I'm asking Mama Steinhoff.
Yes. Yeah, no, she does.
Okay, well...
Yes.
So after getting out the shower, I basically blow dry it in the general shape that it needs to be blow dried. Then I apply some VO5 matte clay hair product, which is basically like some really thick, heavy wax. But literally a thumbnail full, so enough, like a very thin amount that fits on my thumbnail. Rub that through my hair. Basically then for the side, I basically put a comb in it to hold it down and then blow dry it in this shape. And then I have a detangler comb. So hopefully women will, I guess women will know what I'm talking about, but it's like a very thick bristled comb, which I then use to push it, and I'm blow drying as I'm pushing my hair up and to the side, and it takes about 10 minutes. And then I put a thin coat of hairspray on afterwards.
Wow. Okay. I didn't expect you to say almost any of that.
What did you expect me to say?
I don't know. I thought you were going to say that you wake up and brush your hair and it's done.
I just wake up in the morning and just look this good.
Yes. Well, I mean, that is the case for me, largely. I think the only similarity there really is like I think you said VO5. I use like a VO5 like putty thing. Wax.
I tried
it's very very stiff, but as long as it's not completely cold. So if it's been left in the car, then it's a bit too difficult to work with. But yeah, a little bit of that usually works. It depends how long the hair is. So as long as it's kept short, then I can work with that stuff. And the only other thing, I mean, specifically to do with the stream, is that generally speaking, when it comes to trimming the beard a bit, I tend to do that before the stream.
I was going to say, before we get together to start talking about the stream, spending a couple of hours deciding what we're going to talk about, I do tend to go around and just trim the beard and trim my mustache a little bit, just to tidy it all up a little bit. Yeah.
So there we go. We do all that work and we still look this terrible.
Yeah, and the questions just come in, or the comments just come in saying, all I asked was how important the routine was. Well, it's very important. Looks are everything. We are that superficial that looks mean everything.
Yes.
You know, it's that thing about, was it Eddie Izzard that was doing it in one of his stand-up routines about, it doesn't matter really what you say. It's like, 50% is how you look, 40% is how you sound, and only 10% is actually what you say. That's the vibe I go for. I'm trying to look as best as I possibly can without going into applying full makeup. Although, if you ask my girlfriend, she will tell you that I did ask her about some makeup tips just to try and get rid of the shininess off my forehead. But I haven't gone that far yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Well, I'm not saying anything. So anyway, I mean, in terms of appearance, yes, I think that's probably important because the better we try to look, I won't say the better we look, but the better we try to look, the more that takes the emphasis away from the lack of raw talent and ability.
Yes, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, if I didn't do this, I mean, would you watch a stream if it was just me and my hair was a complete mess, like I'd literally got out of bed? You just wouldn't. You'd be looking at me going, who the hell's this Joker? I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah. Now, something that we did talk about a couple of weeks ago, which we haven't followed through on yet, and I think we can lay the blame pretty squarely at the weather and the heat.
Sure.
But one thing that we will do at some point is actually come to this a little bit more suited and booted, a little bit, try to look a little bit smarter than we do.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we were going to turn up in a suit, but then things happened last week and we didn't get, and I guess we just completely forgot for this week.
Next week,
so
there we go. Next week, we'll give it a twirl.
We will, wear a suit next week.
Yeah,
even though you're
just the one between us.
You're literally gonna just see from here upwards, and that's it. So, like I say, I'm absolutely gonna Ron Burgundy this shit and just not wear trousers.
Yeah.
No, because who cares?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's go back to the we've had comments since. What have we got?
We have so Paul Howson came back in, said he doesn't eat the McRib himself. They do seem to come in and out of season. So like I say, great choice for Death Row, especially if the McRib is not in season at that point. Ruby says 2 simple pecks. Is that about the Death Row question? Not sure about that. Steinhoff says one shouldn't assume. I was going to say shouldn't assume. We're back to this. I can't England today. One shouldn't assume. Which is about me talking about your hair. So glad you know all of this information. Yeah, I hope you're going to sleep better tonight, Steinhoff. That's the. I think that's the takeaway from this. You're going to sleep.
This is the service that we're aiming to bring.
Exactly.
We want to put your fears to one side, answer your questions, and
But we both look amazing, apparently. So thanks, Steinhoff.
Oh, great!
Appreciate
thanks very much. Yes,
appreciate you. Welcome to a little insight on them and their hair. Yep. Yes. Mama Steinhoff. What's yes I would about what? And then I am confident I would comment on it. I don't remember what we said to prompt that.
I am confident I would comment on it. Anyway. Comment on what? On your hair?
I assume that's what we're talking about. Commenting on me being scruffy. That's what that is.
Right. Okay. I see. Okay.
Oh, and then yes, you would be. So yes, I would is. Would you watch if we were just all scruffy and whatever? I mean, thank you. Thank you for believing in us and our content, in our mediocrity, that you would still watch us even if we didn't look the way we looked right now. That's a good confidence booster. Thank you. In a suit in that heat with no AC, y'all are brave.
Y'all are brave. Yeah.
Like I say, that's why I would not be wearing trousers.
Yeah, that's why we haven't done it yet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm struggling enough just with this t-shirt on. I mean, nobody needs to see me go shirtless. Then again, all you can see is from the neck up. So.
Yeah, it would be weird though, wouldn't it? Would be weird.
It'd be weird for you because you would absolutely be able to see my man boobs.
Yeah. Okay, we actually got a real question for us now. Can you dance?
I know you didn't ask for a demonstration, but here we are. We're doing it. Just roll with it. Come on, Ted, join in.
I am.
Or don't.
I'm doing like river dance, but you can't see that because it's below the... Yeah.
Or we need to get drink a little bit too much and it turns into liver dance.
Yeah.
Can I dance? Can you dance at all, Ted? I think that's the serious question.
Well, there's been some clarification since. Mama Steinhoff says, rephrasing, can you dance well?
No.
No.
Next question.
Yeah.
I can't dance at all. Genuinely, it's...
No, I wasn't born for dancing, I don't think.
Dancing scares the absolute bejesus out of me. Like, so my eldest brother's wedding, I mean, that was... Where are we now? 2024. 15 years ago? Something like that. Anyway, 16 years ago. 16 years ago yesterday. Happy anniversary to my brother and sister-in-law for yesterday. Anyway, so yeah, actually it started at a party that I got dragged to with some friends of my parents, and they dragged me and my brother to this party. And I ended up getting dragged onto the dance floor by one of the daughters of my parents' friends. And I was like, genuinely, I can't dance. I've never tried. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I must have been 11, 12 at this point. I don't really remember. No, maybe a bit older than that. But anyway, and we were there and I was doing my best, without looking like I'm doing dad dancing. And she basically looked at me after a couple of minutes and went, yeah, you really can't dance, and just walked away. And I was like, there's a confidence boost for you. Thank you for that. And ever since then, literally, I just won't. Anyone ever asks, I'm just like, nope, I'm good. I won't do it. I refuse.
At all?
At all. I refuse. Until I got to my brother's wedding. Yeah. And unfortunately, because I was one of the best men, apparently it was my job that during their first dance, that at a certain point I have to take someone onto the dance floor and join in as the cue for then everyone else to come and join in. I was like, number one, I don't have a date. I am on my own. Number two, I can't dance for toffee. And he was like, nah, I'll be fine. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. And it was the most awkward 3 minutes of my entire life. Where...
That's what she said.
Right? And I can't remember who it was that I didn't end up dancing with. But yeah, during their first dance, so I think they said, like, when you get to like the end of the first chorus, then you go on and that will prompt everyone else. So anyway, I took this person onto the dance floor and we started dancing, and no one else got up to join in. So it's just my brother and my sister-in-law, and then me and this other person just dancing. And then no one else came and joined in, and it was so awkward. And again, just reaffirmed my hatred for dancing.
Right.
So, no, I cannot dance well, and I refuse to attempt to dance well.
So he cannot, and he will not.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Ted? Do you have any dance stories to regale us with?
No, I don't have any dance stories. I mean, I very rarely would dance. I suppose I can dance, but not well.
I'm never gonna dance again. Sorry, that just came to my head.
No, I have danced at weddings, usually my own, and then I danced at like in a nightclub and stuff like that.
Again, but I end up just doing like, I feel like I just end up dad dancing. I'm just doing this kind of shuffling nonsense. Like I think thumbs over, bottle dancing, thumbs over the top of your beer bottles. So you don't spill it.
But the same as your story. I mean, if you get, there are times when you're sort of compelled to do it. So like weddings and stuff, and then there are other times when actually you've had, sufficient alcohol that it doesn't really matter if you dance or not. So you may as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also been to like squadron dining in nights again when we were in the organisation, and they turn into a bit of a drinking dance frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
And then people end up sitting on the floor, forming this weird train type thing. Like, they're basically sitting in each other's laps. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Rocking back and forth and side to side to this particular song.
Oh, yes, I know what you mean.
What song is it? I can't remember.
I don't know. It's something that I don't get it. I don't understand that.
No, I mean, number
I don't know
one,
why they do it.
I don't know. Oops, upside your head. That's it. I don't understand the song, and I don't like the song,
Yeah.
and I don't understand what that is all about. What the point
Yeah.
is. So I just don't do it.
Yeah. I tell you what else is silly: a conga line.
I would hate to be
Why?
at the front of a conga line because I'm
The
like,
responsibility.
exactly, just the
Yeah.
pressure
Yeah.
of doing a conga. Just-
Yeah, be like, I didn't sign up for this.
That's it.
Yeah.
I would never want to do it. I'm like, so my best friend's getting married in a few months,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm dreading the whole dancing thing. Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to it. I mean, I'm dreading the stag do. To start with, it's just like, I don't do drunk people. I don't like
Yeah.
drunk people.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to dip out. I just want to be able to
Yeah.
go, okay, you guys go get drunk and have fun. See you, bye. See you in the morning. And then I'll be like really annoying prick in the morning while I'm just all chipper and happy and like, morning everyone. And everyone's like, oh, shut up. Yeah, because they're hungover. Because they're idiots and don't know how to control the drinks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made a wild assumption there that they're all idiots and don't know how to control the drink, but
Yeah.
no, I'm not looking forward to that. But I'm not looking forward to dancing at the wedding. I'm just like, nope, bride and groom, you can do your thing.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
I don't need to be involved.
Yeah. I think that's one of those things that have just got wildly out of control. The idea of having stag nights and what's the other one? Hen nights.
When did it turn into a weekend?
Well, when did it turn into a weekend? When did it turn into a week? When did it turn into a foreign travel? I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous. It used to be a case of you just go out for a few drinks the night before or something like that, or a few nights before.
Apparently, Vegas was on the cards at one point.
Really?
And when I heard that, this was after the decision was made that we were actually going to Liverpool. I've never been to Liverpool. That scares me on its own. I've heard many stories about Liverpool, and I don't really want to go, but I'm going. But no, apparently Vegas was on the cards at one point, and I was just like, thank fuck, we're not going there. I cannot afford that. I can barely afford to go to Liverpool for a weekend. Yeah, I absolutely cannot afford to go to Vegas for a stag do.
Yeah, Liverpool's not too bad as far as I can remember. I mean, the good thing about it, for a night out, everything's quite close to everything else. So you never feel particularly exposed. So, there's people milling about. So you're going from like one pub or club or something, you just sort of saunter along and you get to the next. But it's like anywhere else, I suppose. But and compare that, if you like, to Manchester, which is a bit more sort of spread out.
Yeah.
But then things could be different because I'm talking about 20, 25 years ago or something. I don't know. How old am I? What am I doing? What's my name?
I'm pretty sure not much has changed. I mean, I've heard good and bad things about Liverpool. It's like, as long as I can park my car somewhere where the wheels aren't going to get stolen, I'm okay. I'll be fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had a car stolen there. I mean, that's just part and parcel of visiting Liverpool, I think.
Maybe I'll take the train.
That's assuming somebody doesn't take it before you get to it.
Yeah.
Going back, should we go back to the comments and see what there is?
Yeah,
we've had in a social setting. Oh, sorry. Mama Steinhoff says, in a social setting, neither of us can England today.
No.
It's ridiculous. In a social setting, if you accidentally make a dad joke, do you say aloud after dad joke?
I say that when I'm on my own.
Do you?
Yeah.
More disturbing.
Yeah. And I must be like, haha, dad joke.
Yeah. I never accidentally make a dad joke. I make very deliberate dad jokes. and yes, and the assumption is that it's a dad joke. Mind you, most of the dad jokes that I make whilst in the commission of being a dad. So it's therefore a given that it's a dad joke.
Every joke is a dad joke when you're a dad.
Well, absolutely.
So yeah, there you go. No, yeah. I'm like you. I'm in the same camp as you. I deliberately make dad jokes. People still don't laugh at them, so it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yes, whether accidental or on purpose, yes, I do say, "Oh, dad joke," and then pull a stupid face afterwards, just to emphasise the ridiculousness of what I just did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's your favourite joke?
What do you do if you see a spaceman?
I know the answer, but I'll let you
Parking it, man. It's been my favourite for a long time. It is a good joke. It's one of those, you know, you're in a conversation, it goes a bit awkwardly silent, and you're like, quick, I need an emergency joke, and you're just like, oh, what do you do if you see a spaceman? Parking it, man. Or knock knock.
Who's there?
Cargo.
Cargo who?
No, owls go who, cars go beep beep.
Do you know, I was watching a bit of comedy today, stand up, and it was like a bit old school, you know, it was like joke. And do you know what? I really am terrible when it comes to remembering jokes.
Yeah.
I don't have the recall for it. So somebody will say, "Oh, tell me a joke," and my mind goes completely blank. Even if I've heard, 20 to 30 jokes that day, I will have nothing.
Maybe it's because you're just saturated with jokes, and they're all equally, of an equal standard of quality, and because of that, you then don't know which one to choose. So your mind just goes blank. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But like I say, occasionally I'll hear a joke and just be like, "That was amazing." Like I say, the whole, what do you do? What do you do if you see a spaceman? That one got told to me must be 10 years ago, and it's still one of my favourites. It just caught me off guard, completely off guard, and it's stuck in my head. And then the whole, knock knock cargo joke I heard on a YouTube video a few weeks ago, right before we did the dad jokes stream.
Mm-hmm.
That was when it was literally like a few days before. That's when I heard it. I was like, I've got to remember that one because it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm racking my brains now because there was some really good ones, but maybe I'll think of it. We got another question.
Have you ever done the pay it forward and paid for someone's purchase who was behind you in the line? No, but I've paid for someone who was in front of me because they were struggling to pay like a $5 for something. They'd basically done the thing of, I've got a few quid, I need to get some provisions, but miscalculated, and they were over by a couple of pounds and didn't have the cash on them. And I was just like, look, it's a $5. I got it, or whatever it was, and I just paid for it.
Yeah.
I didn't do, but what I didn't do was the pay it forward, but which isn't a problem. I like it when people say pay it forward because obviously that's the purpose. But I also am just like, I don't know if that's just what people do, but it's what I did in that moment. Yeah. And I think mainly it was, for a little bit of it, was out of frustration because they were taking an age. And I was in a bit of a rush, and I was just like, look, I'll just pay for you. It's fine. Done. Goodbye. Now
it can be quite an awkward situation, can't it? I mean, it can be stressful enough anyway, because if you know there's a queue behind you, it sort of it would certainly set in panic, especially if you're sort of counting change or what have you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've done something similar. Probably not. It's like, oh, what do you need? 20 pence or something like that, because usually people are just a little bit off. No, I think the pay it forward thing, or certainly in my experience, I think the pay it forward thing is a bit more of an American thing, and I don't think it's really quite taken hold here. It certainly wouldn't occur to me. It certainly never happened to me.
No one's ever done it for me.
No.
No one's ever done it for me.
No.
But no, I did pay for somebody who was ahead of me in the line because they appeared to be struggling a little bit. I was like, look, I've got you, and I just paid for it.
Yeah.
But didn't say pay it forward. Like I say, I think a lot of it was born out of frustration that they were taking forever.
Mm-hmm.
I tried not to let my face tell them that, but my face does things that, my voice doesn't want it to do. Or my mind doesn't want it to do. It just pulls faces. Yeah. Anyway, Ruby said, I've paid before, meet, or after. It's a nice feeling. It is a nice feeling. It was a nice feeling to get that person out of my way so I can get on with my day. Mama Steinhoff said, I paid for the car behind me in a drive-through yesterday, and they were yelling and waving at me the whole time they were in line together. We were in line together. They were yelling at you? Why?
I would imagine yelling in a friendly way.
I was going to say, were they annoyed that you paid for them?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done that. I've thought about it, actually. But then again, I'm also like, I don't know how much they think. They could just have like a 50 quid order. I'm not paying for that. I don't want to pay for that.
Also, it might be that they've paid on an app.
Yeah.
So it might not even be a purchase. So who knows? Who knows? Anyway, listen. I probably think it's about time to take a quick break.
Sounds good to me.
So tee up the incidental music.
Oh yeah, hang on. I'm going to keep talking for a moment, and I'll just so I can click play at the right moment. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready now.
Okay.
We'll be right back, folks.
And we're back.
Now we're back.
Now we're back.
Now we're back.
Does that mean we weren't back when I said, and we're back?
I don't think we were.
Okay.
But now we are
now back.
Yeah, no, I'll just think, no, we weren't back when you said now we're back. So now we're back.
Okay, welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Say back one more time.
Hit me, baby, one more time. Have you seen the Tenacious D cover of Baby One More Time?
No.
So good. But I'm a big fan of Tenacious D anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hearing Jack Black singing Baby One More Time by Britney Spears was delightful. Like, actually put a real smile on my face. Not that every smile is a fake smile. Just thought I'd clarify that one too.
Okay.
But it put a genuine smile on my face. It's Jack Black with his big old beard like that. Hit me, baby, one more time. It's so good. That was a really bad impression. I feel like I did it better before.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yes.
Can we talk for a minute, Ted, about this?
Yes, we can.
About this shit.
Yes.
Fucking lids that are attached to the bowl. I mean, why?
Why indeed?
Why, Delilah?
Well, I don't know. I mean, do you know what?
I can't drink now.
It seems odd because I've never knowingly picked up a bottle, taken the lid off, thrown the lid away, and walked around with the bottle.
Right.
I've opened a can and then walked around with an open can, but I'd never open a bottle and throw the lid away.
No, it's ridiculous. It's such a ridiculous notion.
So the lid is always going to stay with the bottle.
Yeah. It's like even when you're finished with it.
Yeah.
Who is throwing the bottle, let's say, in the recycling and then putting the lid in the general waste?
Yeah.
No one is doing that.
Yeah. I know. Like, if you're a Scotsman and you take a lid off a bottle of Scotch, you may as well throw the lid away because it's all going down.
Yeah.
But with a soft drink or whatever it may, I don't really see the point. And it's not like they're easy to work with, are they?
No, it actually makes it more difficult because
it makes it more difficult.
Now it's wedged, and you have to force it back, and it's basically going to break anyway.
Yeah.
And it's
On
like,
the-
so they've started doing it on water bottles now.
Yeah.
So I, when I travel for work and I do the customary buy a 12-pack of water bottles from Tesco's because, I don't like hotel water because the only place to get it is out of the sink, and I'm not doing that. So I do take bottled water with me.
Okay.
So they started doing it on that. But then, like I said, I was around my brother's house last weekend for my niece's birthday. And even on the big 2-litre bottles of like pop and stuff, they've put them on there. And I'm like, who needs that? Because the amount of times you're going to open and close that, it's just going to fall off anyway. So what's the point? I see zero benefit to this.
I'm going to tell you. This is what I think the benefit is. Now, for quite a while, I think when it came to recycling, you could put the bottle in the recycling, but not the cap.
Yes.
Which in of itself didn't really make much sense, because if it's the material of the cap, then the cap splits anyway, doesn't it? Because you've got a seal on it, and you end up with a little
sealing disc on the top, isn't there?
Yeah. So you pull it off, and you've got a rim.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand that, but I think it sort of makes sense that if you've got everybody quite used to the idea of bottles are recyclable, caps aren't, therefore I'm always going to take the cap off, throw that in the general waste. I knew when he was the captain, and then the bottle goes into the recycling. So I think it's changed people's habits. So maybe after what, I mean, not that they ever change anything back again to anything approaching normal, but in theory, we could actually go back to having loose caps, because but then that's only if all of the caps are recyclable. If they said, right, okay, all caps are now recyclable, they wouldn't have to do that.
My big concern is how long until they put these stupid bottle caps on the milk bottles. How long?
Well,
how long do we have to wait?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I might just stop drinking milk at that point. It's like this. So this stuff here, this peach iced tea. I love this stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
What I found in my local shop is if you can find one with a white/clear translucent cap, it's not attached. All the ones with the orange lid are attached. So I always have a quick glance. I'm like this down the shelf, trying to find one with a white cap, and I'll literally move everything aside just to get the one that doesn't have an attached lid to it. Because I hate it. It's so annoying. Like, even when I was a kid, even when you really couldn't recycle bottle caps, that well, I would still throw it in the recycling. Because I do this thing when I'm finished with a bottle. I know I'm not finished with this one, so I'll just demonstrate. But I loosen the cap, squeeze the bottle, tighten the cap. There you go. It's not going to re-expand. I'm actually now saving some space in my recycling bin.
Yeah.
But I do that with every bottle and have done for years. So why is this now a thing? Because the thing is, the whole you couldn't recycle a bottle cap, that was 20 years ago. You've been able to recycle bottle caps for a long time.
Yeah.
So why is this now a thing? Has there just been some kind of, national waste crisis of bottle caps ending up in landfills, and now they feel like they have to attach the bottle cap to the... No, it's ridiculous. Such a silly notion.
Well, there we go. We don't know. We don't know. If you're in the chat and you do know, if you have a definitive answer as to why we have to go through this charade of opening the cap and still ending up with a cap stuck there, which is going to go up your nose or scratch your face or something.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of serrated as well, isn't it? Because you still end up with that kind of rough edge.
Oh yeah, you still got the bit where the little nubbins where they attach and break off when you first open it.
Yeah.
I have scratched myself a few times with them. So
yeah.
You know what? If there's one thing to write about in the UK, I think it's that.
You have one of those. Hang on. You do have those fancy scissors at your fingertips. Could easily be used to remove that cap. Oh, I see. Yes. There you go. There's your answer.
However, I don't have scissors in the car, so when I am driving, it's a bit more challenging. But
do you not have car scissors?
I do not have car scissors. No,
Interesting.
I've got other stuff. Like I've got a car charger for my vape pen. I've got a car charger. Actually, no, I don't have a charger for my phone. Actually, that's one thing I don't keep in the car because I don't need it.
Okay.
So I don't like when you plug your phone into the car while you're driving. You're just burning the battery. So I tend not to do that. I have wireless to my audio system.
Right.
So I don't actually have to plug it in and then burn the battery while I'm doing it. So
Okay. Unless you need to charge it, surely.
unless I needed to, but then again, if I'm going somewhere that's far enough that I might end up needing to charge the phone while I'm driving, I've got a charger in my bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's why I have one in my bag. If I'm going to the shop or something, I'm not going to have my charger with me because I'm just going to the shop.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. I don't think what do I have? I tend to have a car. I don't know where it is at the moment actually, but I have a small car paintbrush, like a small brush.
Yep.
It's quite handy for getting rid of bits of dust.
I'll say I've got
You get a build up of dust, you give it a brush with a small.
I've got that. I've got like a 3-pronged brush,
Oh.
so it goes in your air vents. You can dust out your air vents.
Oh, yeah.
But then you can then use it to like dust off the dashboard. I actually have
Yeah.
an actual duster for my dashboard and that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got my I tend to have like a it's like a what do you call it? Battlefield repair kit, which is basically in the boot. There's some large cable ties and what's the other thing? Duct tape.
But yeah, duct tape fixes everything.
Fixes everything. Or it's the ideal kit for kidnap.
Yeah. I was gonna say that feels more like a kidnapping kit than a battlefield repair kit.
Yeah. Perhaps I ought to put it in a box and have repair kit written on the box.
I feel like you should.
Yeah, maybe.
Or put it in the same box or compartment as your jump leads and tow rope and all that kind of, so people know it's there for car stuff, not for unless you want to. Well, then again, if you've got the tow rope, zip ties, duct tape, and jump leads, I'm thinking you're tying someone to the chair with their hands zip tied behind their back, duct tape over their mouth, and you are connecting their nipples to the battery.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think it's the sawn-off shotgun that's probably going to get them into most trouble.
That's the bit that's going to get you.
Yeah. Anyway, Bex is in the chat. Bex says, apparently it's easier to recycle whole. That's what Kit Kats... Oh, sorry. That's what Kit Kats... Oh, no, that's what Kit Kats are no longer foil.
But you can recycle foil. You can recycle the paper. Now what they've done is just given you a full foil wrapper on a Kit Kat.
Well, yes, and the foil and the paper will go into recycling.
Both into the recycling
same thing.
Bin. Unless your local area does something really stupid and they don't take something that's recyclable, like in my old house, I think I've said this before, in my old house, they wouldn't accept glass in my recycling bin.
Yeah,
so
you mentioned that.
Yeah, so I just hide it at the bottom instead.
Well, the same as many things in life at the moment. All I have to say is, please make it make sense. And that's something that definitely doesn't. Oh, and then Beck says, asterisk, why?
Yeah, why? Oh, there we go.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you threw me off with that.
Yeah. Mama Steinhoff has come in with, I feel like you should get car scissors.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I can't think of any other use for scissors in my car except for taking the cap off a bottle. At which point I'd probably go real OCD with it, and before I've even broken the little things around the edge, I'd be like trying to snip those first.
Yeah.
And then take the cap off. I don't know. But, we did miss a comment from Ruby actually about cats. So she has 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
2 cats.
There we go.
2 cats are better than 1.
Get in the comments. How many cats have you got?
I have none.
The other thing you could have is a car sword. And then what you could do is you could use a sword and just chop the top of your bottle off.
I think what I would prefer is a katana, because then I would call it a kartana.
Kartana.
Yeah. And then you could just take the cap off with one swoop.
Yeah.
You know, very sharp. Like, yeah. I've always wanted a katana. Always wanted one. Don't ask me why. It's just one of those things. It's one of those tropes, isn't it? That in the movies, there's always someone, some weird, sad gamer or nerd or something has a katana on the wall or two.
Mm-hmm.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I've fallen into that category of because why not? Why would I not do that?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Or cookery. That'd be good.
Yes, cookery. A couple of cross cookeries would be wicked.
Yeah.
I have always wanted a Royal Air Force officer's sword. Not that I was ever an officer, but I wanted an officer's sword so I could put it in a frame, have it like, again, sword and scabbard next to each other.
Yeah.
In a box frame on the wall.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or get two of them and do the old Wilkinson sword thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Good old Wilkinson.
Yes, get a car sword, says Steinhoff.
Yeah.
I mean, Americans get to drive around with guns, so
that's true.
Can we drive around with swords?
No, it's probably a really bad time for that as well.
Mama, don't encourage him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not encouraging. All right. Okay. So no, they in fact, yes, there's have no car weapons, no car kidnapping kits.
Oh.
Let's just stick to sort of cleaning equipment.
Mama Steinhoff just says, "I'm already googling it." Okay, let us know what you find. Can you carry swords in the car? I don't even. Can we carry swords in the car? I mean, I guess it comes under like Offensive Weapons Act or something.
If there's a purpose to it, I mean, if you're transporting it for some reason, if it's just there as a no, it can't be the car thing. You can't just have, oh, here's my car axe. That's not right, is it? Unless your job is not your job, but unless you on a regular basis swing by the forest.
I was going to say
that makes it sound worse. Doesn't it?
I was going to say
get wood.
I'll put it to get wood. I was going to say to put it in a box labelled M25 Road Rage Kit. So, and for those who don't know England, the M25 is generally a terrible motorway. It's all, especially when you go past Heathrow Airport and the M3 and the M4, it's just always backed up with traffic. There's only one good time of day to go around there, and that's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And you can generally sail through, as long as they're not doing roadworks, that is. Because they always seem to be doing roadworks.
Yeah, we're always doing roadworks somewhere. Although the roads are terrible, though, aren't they? I mean, for the amount of work that goes on, or purports to go on, the roads are worse than they've ever been, ever.
I love
roadworks. Everything's as bad as it's ever been. I mean, it's worse, everything, everywhere.
I love roadworks. So, and I know we've said this before, but I am the type of person that drives at the speed limit. So when people are speeding and going past me, it actually gets on my nerves sometimes. So when you hit a 50 mile an hour roadwork area with the average speed cameras and everyone is suddenly driving at 50 miles an hour, or maybe 51, depending on how their speedo is calibrated, it's just so much nicer. It's so much more pleasant to drive. Because I'm not worried about coming up behind someone who's doing 50 to then try and overtake and all this stuff, and then getting stuck behind someone who's doing 60 in the middle lane, but the inside lane is clear, and it's just, I don't have to deal with that because everyone's doing 50, hopefully. Okay, occasionally you get someone who's doing 40 because old people, but again, it's easier to get around them because everyone to my right is also doing 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. So much nicer. And it's really fuel efficient.
Have you been, this is from Mama Steinhoff, have you been to any of the 7 wonders of the world?
I guess we got bored of that conversation about me driving. Have I seen any of the, I mean, have you?
I don't know.
I mean, you're looking at one right now.
Well, this is what I was going to say. We're two out of the 7. What are the other 5?
Yeah, every morning I look at one of the 7 wonders of the world. Have I been to any of them? I mean, I don't really know what they are. Great Wall of China, Pyramids of Giza. What else is there? Stonehenge? Is that one of the 7 wonders?
No, I don't think so.
While you're Googling, Steinhoff, can you just Google what are the 7 wonders of the world?
Yes,
mean,
let's have the list.
I think the honest answer is no, I haven't.
Yeah.
I want to say our Niagara Falls. Is that one of them? There are some very really big popular places, but I don't actually know what the actual 7 wonders of the world are. So I'm going to say probably not.
Okay. Yeah, let us know what they are.
Yeah, tell us what they are.
then we'll dismiss it out of hand on the basis that we haven't seen any of them anyway. But anyway, we can talk it through once we know what they are.
My mum's been to Egypt and looked at the pyramids.
Been to Egypt. Okay.
Been to Egypt.
Been to Egypt.
Been to Egypt. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's one of those 7 wonders of the world, and you're like, okay, Great Wall of China. Where's the wall? Pyramids of Giza. Okay, they're really old buildings. Okay. And whatever the other ones are, like, I don't know. I feel underwhelmed with it. Like Stonehenge. Let's just take Stonehenge for a moment. So I've driven past Stonehenge a few times. The biggest henge in the world, as Eddie Izzard would say. And I've driven past it, and I've kind of glanced as I'm driving. And I'm just like, just a big pile of rocks. What's the fascination? I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, I suppose do you know what? Probably a bit more impressive if you went up close. And that's the thing with the pyramids. I would imagine they're probably quite impressive to look at when you're at the foot of them.
Yeah, looking up.
Looking up, yeah. But I mean, it's very, very close to a very built-up area. The pyramids. When you see pictures of it, sort of like pulled back, you can actually see that it's very close to sort of civilization. Not quite what you would you would imagine. It'd be quite nice to go and see pyramids, I suppose. But then I don't know. I mean, then you're looking at a pyramid, and then you've seen a pyramid.
I think for me, and I don't know if this is a thing, but to go see the pyramids, I want to go in the pyramid. I want to know what's inside. Is it just a big? I know it's not a big solid block of thing. It's a very well constructed house, tomb, isn't it? So, or them. But I'm like, I want to go inside to have a look around.
Yeah,
I really want to know what they look like inside. I know you can see, people have done excursions and taken videos and photos and this kind of thing. But it's like, I just want to see it for myself. It's like going to Auschwitz. I know it exists, and I could probably go and drive past it and be like, oh, look, there's Auschwitz. But it's when you then get to go inside and look around that you suddenly get a sense of what this place actually is.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's about the same with Stonehenge. It's like, okay, I've driven past it. I've never actually been to it. But maybe if I did actually go to it, maybe it would be a different story.
Yeah.
Because then you go, wow, these are actually really big rocks. They're not just a pile of rocks. They are massive rocks.
Yeah. Same with the wall. The Great Wall of China. I mean, it's more than just a wall. To start with, it's a big wall. Yes, I think these things would be a lot more impressive, actually, in person. It's hard to get a real handle on things when you're looking at just photographs.
Pyramids of Giza, the Colosseum in Rome. Wouldn't mind going there.
Yes, I'd quite like to go and see that.
The Taj Mahal. Machu Picchu.
Yes, I think there's
Inca Citadel.
Yeah, there's a lot of walking involved in there.
Oh yeah,
to get to there.
Yeah, the Great Wall of China. Petra. I'm not sure where Petra is, but it's a city made of rock. Like it's actually been cut out of a rock. And Christ the Redeemer in Brazil, Rio.
Yeah.
The big Jesus with his arms out.
Yeah, big Jesus.
Big Jeebus in Rio.
Yeah. So, anyway, chat. If you've been to any of these, let us know. And let us know whether you were in awe, whether you were disappointed, whether you were amazed, whatever it may be.
Well, Ruby wants to go see them all. It's on their bucket list. The good old bucket list.
Mama Steinhoff says, new one. When you were a young... Hang on. We haven't... Oh, no, you've already investigated, haven't you?
Yep.
Mama Steinhoff says, new one. When you were a young boy, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Astronaut. But then,
Really?
then I figured out that I'm British, so I had to scale it back a bit. Sorry, I'm unloading Eddie Izzard jokes today. I'm sure we've spoken about this before.
I'm sure we have.
Train driver. I wanted to be a train driver.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to drive trains when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My when we lived in London, our next door neighbours had a train. Sorry, it's not a train set. It's a model railway. In the garage. So we lived in a terraced house, and all the garages were on the bottom. The garage, sorry, if you're American. All the garages were on the bottom, and then the houses were on top of the garages. And in one of so they had a double garage next door to us. So in one of them was a model railway, and in the other one was where they kept the car.
Yeah.
And it was very impressive. I very much enjoyed going in there and watching the trains go. And I was never allowed to operate it, but I very much enjoyed watching the model trains going around. And again, kind of piqued my interest in being a train driver. And then I grew up a little bit, and then went flying, and then went, I really want to be a pilot. And I want to be a pilot in the Royal Air Force. And then someone said, yeah, you need good eyesight for that, and that's not me.
Yeah. No, train. My grandfather had a train set. Again, massive thing, and they had a large cellar, because it was a sort of terrace house, but it was, all sort of big ceilings and deep and wide and whatnot, and the cellar was massive. But he had a train set, so that was quite fun. Mind you, he used to work for the railway, so I think that sort of goes with the territory.
Yeah, my neighbour was a prison officer.
Right.
But I guess he was just interested in model railways.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't want a model prison, would you?
No, it seems a bit weird.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be fun trying to stage a prison break, though, wouldn't it? Get a torch out and flash it around a little bit, and make the noises with your mouth.
I think going back to the question, what did you want to do? Probably almost the same answer as yours, because the thing is, these things pop up, and then you think, oh, that's a bit out of bounds, and whatever it may be. So at some point I thought, oh, pilot, that would be good. At some point I thought, oh, helicopter pilot, that would be good. Or various things. But then you realise, eyesight, that's an issue.
It's commercial, it's fine.
Yeah.
Commercial's fine. It was just Air Force.
But in commercials, it's like, oh, it's a bit dull.
See, I like commercial aircraft. I am a proper nerd when it comes to this. I'm not just like, oh, fighter jets, and all that crap. Yeah, I like them. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of military aircraft, but I'm more into the heavy side of aircraft. So, C-17 Globemaster is my favourite military aircraft of all time. And my favourite commercial is a Boeing 737-800.
Right.
I just like the look. The look of the aircraft is very aesthetically pleasing to my eyes, and that is why I like. I know it's really nerdy, and I know people are probably listening to me going, "What the shit is this guy talking about?" But that's what I like. It's that. It's like when people look at a car. What people do with cars, I do with aircraft. So people look at cars and they go, "Oh, Ferrari F1 or Lamborghini Huracan, whatever." Yeah. I'm like, not really my thing. Airplanes are my thing. And I go, "Whoa, Boeing 777X, awesome, looks amazing, folding wingtips, fucking wicked."
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's all it is for me.
Fair enough. I tell you what is a good-looking aircraft, the Buccaneer.
Yes.
That's a proper-looking.
I saw a post about the Buccaneer the other day. Can't remember what it was. It was something to do with the Gulf War or something. Like
the first Gulf War, it was there.
Yeah, the only aircraft to be able to do something very specific in the Gulf War, the first Gulf War. And I can't remember what it was now. It was like long-range bombing or high-altitude bombing or something.
Or low.
Oh, low level.
Low level.
That was it. It was like the optimum altitude for maximum power to weight ratio is like 200 feet. And you're like, what the fuck? who the shit designed this aircraft?
But if you think about it, ideal for the desert because I mean, it's
Perfect for the desert.
Obviously, it undulates, but it's largely a flat area. You don't have lots of pylons or mountains and things like that, so you can get in your Buccaneer and go shoom, 200 feet. What was it? 200 feet?
About 200 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, about 200 feet.
Crazy altitude.
Yeah.
And then apparently there was something with the F4 Phantom. That when it used to fly low level over the desert, they'd basically have to repaint the aircraft because it would just get sandblasted.
Interesting.
Again, it was a weird fact that I heard many years ago
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, just weird, but I do like airplanes. Buccaneers.
But no, I remember that. There was they had I think it was pretty much the last outing for a lot of the aircraft, like the Buccaneer. I think the Victor as a tanker was last used in that conflict. Tornado was there.
Tornado was still going in like 2010.
That's true.
Wasn't it? Still going. That was going for a long time. It was only literally in the last.
Oh, Jaguar. That was the other one I was thinking
the
of.
Jaguar.
So you had the Jaguars and you had the Buccaneers. They were the sort of old school ones of that one.
Yeah.
But they were all painted pink, sort of sand pink, and they had all the decorative stuff. They had the half naked women.
The old nose art.
Yes, that's like nose art.
The one thing about the Jaguar,
not allowed to have that anymore.
No, they're not. The one thing I remember about the Jaguar was it was the only aircraft with the top-mounted pylons on top of the wing rather than underneath. It had bottom-mounted pylons as well, but it had a top-mounted pylon on each wing for weapons, which was cool. Well, there you go, fun fact. Anyway,
yeah, fun fact.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, that was it.
Okay,
right. Bex says in the chat, Carl Pilkington goes to some of them on an Idiot Abroad.
That's the Seven Wonders.
Seven Wonders of the World. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would like to go see the Seven Wonders, but it is about getting up close and personal.
Yeah.
And I think I've always said if ever I won the lottery, I'd absolutely have a house big enough that in the basement I would have a model. Actually, probably in the attic I'd have a model railway because the basement would be my gaming room.
Yeah.
Because it's cooler down there.
Yeah.
But then again, if I won the lottery, I can afford to get air conditioning fitted. So.
And you can also afford to go and visit all the Seven Wonders of the world.
And I'll visit all the Seven Wonders.
Yeah, in a plane that you're piloting yourself with your own plane.
Beechcraft King Air 350 is the aircraft I'd want to buy.
Yeah.
And I think that is... I know, maybe it's the CRJ. I can't remember. I think the King Air 350 is basically the largest aircraft you can fly on your own before you need a co-pilot.
Right.
But then again, I'm also thinking now maybe it's a Cessna CRJ 100, which is a jet aircraft. I think, that's right. I think, the Cessna CRJ, I think, is the largest aircraft you can fly on your own before you need a co-pilot with you. Because basically, once you get bigger than that, you're talking, like international flight or intercontinental flight, long haul or medium haul flights rather than a short hop from here to Spain or something.
Okay.
But that would be cool though, to own my own aircraft and basically just be like, right, I'm just going to go on an adventure around Europe.
Yeah.
I'm just going to fly from airport to airport and go have some fun. Yeah. It's like that episode of Top Gear where they're all travelling from, I want to say Italy, back to the UK. And James May he'd just got his pilot's license at that point, and he flew a Cessna Skyhawk. But then he was like, I've got to land because it's getting dark and I haven't got my night license yet. And it's like, lol. But I haven't done my night flying training.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, there we go, and then we could go to the seven wonders of the world and do a live stream from all seven locations.
How cool would that be?
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you do it all in a day. I don't know if it's even not in a day. Sorry, in a week. So one a day for a week, probably impossible. Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, you can get I don't know, what was it, around the world in 80 days?
Yeah, around the world in 80 days.
But that was in a balloon. So if you got a jet,
I mean, just do it in a Concorde, you'll do it in a day.
Yeah.
Less than a day.
Anyway, Mama Steinhoff says, thanks for being you. I have to go pick up our trailer, so I'll miss the rest of the stream. Have an amazing weekend all.
See you, Steinhoff.
Cheerio.
Take care. America.
America, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
There we go. Are there any more questions?
Right. Last call for questions.
That's cool.
I need a bell. Last orders. Time, please, gentlemen. Sorry, speaking of
gentlemen.
And a conversation we were having before the stream about wartime and something. I don't remember the full context of our conversation. I watched a movie today, a film today, on Amazon Prime. So if you have Prime Video, you can watch it, called The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. It is a Guy Ritchie movie, so the same guy who made Lock, Stock, Snatch, The Gentleman. But it doesn't feel like a Guy Ritchie movie. It's not like London Gangster type. It's a wartime film. It's a Second World War film about a group of soldiers who take on unsanctioned missions.
Right.
It was really good. I've really, really enjoyed it. I'm not a huge Guy Ritchie fan. Like I say, Lock, Stock, Snatch, they're okay. I like them. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch them again. But that film was really good. So if you get an opportunity, so it's a new release on Amazon Prime Video, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Okay.
And
I'll look up at that one.
And I'm a big fan of Alan Richardson as well, so he's in that.
Who?
Alan Richardson. Reacher is also on Prime. The show called Reacher.
No, don't know.
No. Where else did you know him from? You probably won't know him from anywhere then. Actually.
No, probably not.
You don't watch the things that I watch.
No, I don't know anyone. Yeah, I hear names. I hear names, but I don't put the names to the faces because I've got no idea.
It's not really your thing, is it? See, film and TV is more, that's something I'm really interested in.
Yeah, just going back. I mean, just again a little bit of an insight, if you like, back to the question about how do we decide what we're going to talk about. One of the things that we're very careful on, or we try to be careful on, is not picking something that puts us in silos. So there are certain things, such as certain things in sort of popular culture,
Star Trek, Star Wars. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that, and we don't talk about it because the only person talking would be CJ, and probably very little would stop him. And it would take quite a while before he realised that I wasn't talking or listening or awake.
But that's the thing. You could be trying to listen, but you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But the same comes back this way. Like, I mean, you've mentioned stuff that has appeared on social media, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what happens to me, and I totally get it.
Yeah. So there we go. That's something else we're very aware of when it comes to picking topics. But here's something. I think before we wrap up, a little bit of homework for those people that might still be in the chat, and also anybody else that watches or listens later on. You can also get into the comments and let us know what you would like what big question you would like to be to have discussed on the show in the future.
Get in the comments, send us a message.
Let us know.
Ted's going to give you all the details.
Oh yes, yes. Well, it's a very good point at which to say. If you would like to get in touch with us, if you've got any comments about the show, anything else you want to say, you can always DM me at Ted James Media, or you could DM CJ at CJ Brooks FM. And you can also email us at
CJ and Ted at thetuesdayshow.co.uk.
That's the one. And so that just leaves us to say thank you very much to the chat. Thank you very much to all our viewers and listeners.
And everyone that pays attention to us droning on about crap.
And until next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I need to time this better. We're still on.
We're still on.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.